2NURFM.com, a broadcast service of the University of Newcastle.
Well, I like to refer to this as our everyday esoteric chat when Dr. Simon Iveson comes along for our science spot. Simon, hello and welcome. Have you been out bush? Should I be worried?
Yeah, no, I've been out camping over the holidays with the kids. We're up at Cathedral Rock National Park up near Dorrigo for
beautiful.
4 or 5 nights. It was nice.
What a nice part of the world.
It was, yes.
And what were you doing with trying to get sort of water cold? Were you hoping to chill a bottle of champagne or something?
No, I wasn't doing it deliberately. What happened is, on camping, you're always trying to conserve water. So we'd wash the dishes one night and we keep that water for the next day for the initial rinse, before you have to boil up the clean water to wash them properly. So I had this bucket of used dishwashing water sitting out overnight. And in the morning, the kids got up and they found these icicles in it. And I said, gee whiz, we didn't realise it dropped below freezing last night, And I said, well, actually, maybe it didn't drop below freezing last night.
Although it does get cold in Dorrigo.
It does get cold, but it's an interesting thing that you don't actually have to have the air temperature drop below zero to freeze water.
How is that so? This kind of goes against everything that we were ever taught in a science class ever, I think.
Yes, well, it's very interesting because what you're doing is you're exchanging heat with outer space. So this is something that works particularly well in the desert, and so that's why you often get frosts in the desert. Overnight, well, let me start with during the day. All the time during the day, our bodies are actually radiating heat. In fact, every object in this room is radiating heat. And that's how night vision goggles work. So, infrared goggles?
Yes, oh yes.
What they're seeing is the infrared radiation that we're all emitting.
Okay.
And all objects are doing this all the time. Now, normally I don't notice this because I'm radiating heat, but I'm also receiving heat back at the same rate. And so I don't notice it. But at night time, on a clear sky with no cloud cover and low humidity, which happens out sometimes, what happens is the heat that radiates away can just keep going straight out into outer space.
So this is the radiant heat from the Earth and from the things on it?
Yeah, that's why the Earth cools down at night time.
And that's why clear nights are cold and fresh.
Exactly,
okay,
yeah, because we're losing that heat. Yeah. Because outer space is effectively at what we call absolute zero, which is minus 273 degrees Celsius.
And that's why it gets colder as you go up in a plane and all that stuff.
Exactly, some of the reasons for that, yeah. So what happens at night time, if you've got a clear black sky overhead, although the air around the water it's cold, but it might still be 2 or 3 or 4 degrees Celsius, but the water in that dish is radiating heat to outer space at effectively absolute zero. And if it's in a well-insulated container, it can be losing heat to outer space faster than heat is coming to it from conduction from the air, and therefore it can freeze. And I did a little bit of research on this because I'd heard about it before, and I found this out on Wikipedia, so it must be true. But apparently the ancient Persians, back in about 500 BC, were already doing this to make ice for their kings. So out in the deserts, they had these special structures. They would use evaporative cooling and everything to keep it cooling, but at night they would have a deep trench, so it was in rock walls, so well insulated.
Yes.
And the only place the trench could see was straight up to the night sky. And overnight, a thin layer of water in this trench would freeze. They would chisel up this ice in the morning, store it, and then serve it up in the drinks to their kings and queens during the day.
Simon, you not only are a fantastic researcher, you're a fantastic dad, because as soon as you said something about outer space in a bucket to your kids, I bet they went, oh my God, Dad, that's the coolest thing ever. Did they say that?
Right. I think they weren't sure if to believe me or not, because sometimes I pull their leg.
But all jokes aside, it's actually quite a handy piece of knowledge to have. If you are camping...
You want to make some ice cream. Yeah.
And you want some ice, for drinks. Oh, I don't know, but you've got to wait overnight to get it. But
So what you need is a clear night sky,
yes,
a well-insulated container, so a plastic bucket's fine, and make the layer of water on the bottom fairly thin. And that gives you your best chance of it losing enough heat to freeze overnight.
To freeze over. Excellent. Yeah. Talk about the everyday esoteric and also the camping esoteric. It's Dr. Simon Iveson. Thank you so much, Simon. You're a font of knowledge and lots of fun as well. Cheers. We'll see you next month, hopefully, for another scientific catch-up.
See how we go.
Cheers.
Thanks very much.
Dr. Simon Iveson, who is from Chemical Engineering and Science at the University of Newcastle, and he's always got lots of interesting things to tell us.